Dale, the tape for this one. Chris Hill, of course, coming in from the UK, is facing the hometown fighter, Ilya BRKAN. 23 is BRKAN, 31 is Hill. 5-0, plays 3-0. Touch of gloves were underway. Of course, Hill said, "This is my house here tonight." BRKAN, 23 from ATT Zagreb, will be happy to make an impression against 31-year-old Hill. Where will it go? It could be a stand-up battle. It could be 15 minutes. Good probing punches here to a 1-2 come from BRKAN.
BRKAN taking center stage, definitely the longer fighter, Chris. And I like that because you can work those combos off. But if Hill can close the distance, then I think there's going to be problems. But he's got a lovely bit of pressure here on up against the cage, Hill. Can he get the takedown? We'll soon find out.
Hill looking on the inside, maybe gonna go high crouch, can't get it. Gotta watch out for the old elbows there. Wizard counter there, BRKAN. Outstanding work where he was able to capture the overhook and really destabilize Hill.
Nice disengage there from BRKAN. I think he's gonna wanna stay and kind of strike with Hill here. He's already got a little bit of damage on his nose, Hill, and he just gets caught with the jab coming in. He's gonna have to come off the line there or maybe slip and then parry, who knows, but he's gonna have to do something to get on the inside to work those shots.
BRKAN testing to the legs, looks for an oblique kick, goes 1-2, will he throw the 10?
Brilliant combos there from BRKAN. He loves that jab, lead hook, and then follow with the right, which is a classic in boxing. Being his, boxing background, I think he's looking to really let those hands off.
Hill on the outside, switches up. BRKAN chasing, double jab to a 10. The crowd chanting, feeling the tension here. BRKAN ranked 7 in FNC, the first ranked fighter to compete here on the card.
He's really using that range here, Chris, just to keep the distance from Hill. And then kind of find that shot that does the damage. He kind of comes in with the jab, and then lovely low lead kick there, and then jab, jab, which is really nice work from BRKAN.
Oh, Hill ate a counter right there. Hill walking into a couple of straight punches here. Looking to maybe move his head a little bit more off the center line or hand fight. Hill searching for a way in, looking, seeing what's available, but BRKAN controlling things on the outside, hits that 1-2-10 again. Outstanding. 2 to 3 punches, followed by a kick. Use the straight kicks against a forward press. It's all working here for the Croatian.
Just working each other out here, I think, in the first round. Trying to find out what works, what doesn't. But BRKAN has definitely, for me, put a nice clinical performance on in this first round.
Testing again. Looking for the high kick, again an oblique kick. Multiple oblique kicks to the heavy. Flat lead available leg. Desperation takedown here from Hill. Shut down by BRKAN. BRKAN going for the choke. He goes Dars. This could be tight, could be a submission. Oh, this would be an amazing result here for the Croatian. Hill gets to his 4, tries to turtle. Oh, that was a near disaster, Will Jr.
A near disaster, he shot for it, and he got it. And in my eyes, that was a finish. But we've kind of disengaged here, and BRKAN has taken the back. If you can get the heel hooks on, I think there's something definitely still on here.
Well, they say it's catch wrestling, but this ain't catch and release. But certainly putting the shoot and shoot fighting right now is BRKAN. BRKAN getting to that dominant position here in half. Lots of attacking opportunities. Hill in serious jeopardy, the most jeopardy we've seen in his pro career. What a step up from the regional to the FNC. But what a performance right now from BRKAN. BRKAN just feeling the love in this arena, Junior.
Really feeling the love. Homeboy on home turf. I mean, just under 40 seconds here to go. And I think if you can just, Hill's going to want to ride this round out, but BRKAN's going to want to continue applying pressure.
Potential wrestle up there from Hill. Hill compromised, belly to back. Not quite a suplex, but definitely dragging him down. Oh, this is a complete mess right now for Hill. has been a world of a complete sufferfest for Hill. Hill just being wrestled, punched, exhausted, and beaten up right now, Will Jr.
A lot of pressure from BRKAN in this first round. And as I said, Hill's just going to want to ride it out, go back to his corner, talk to the team, and kind of restructure and rejig what the tactics are, because he's going to have to bring his head off that center line if he wants to sit and strike, or he's going to have to shoot and get his man to the ground.
In desperate need during desperate times is Hill. Hill going back to his corner and looking a little bit worse for wear. I have to say, BRKAN isn't exactly fresh either. He's definitely putting in a shift. It's the fight we expected. These are two guys who don't want to lose. And a chance to revisit some of the action here on the inside as Hill was testing, probing, looking for takedowns, but it was BRKAN with primarily straight punches that just rinsed him. There was the near Darce. He almost, yeah, was he actually grabbing the bicep? Yeah, he did. That was deep. That was certainly very deep. It really should have been a finish, Will.
Should have been a finish. Maybe Hill's, you know, wrestling background, tucked the chin in and couldn't get under. Who knows? But yeah, definitely should have been a finish.
Touch of gloves, and we continue here the second fight on the prelims. Welcome to FNC 30. It is great to have you here with us. Of course, the busy season continues for the promotion as we march into Zadar tonight for what should be an all-star lineup. We're building up to FNC TV. If you want to join us beyond this first couple of fights, you have to join and watch on the pay-per-view. But until then, you can enjoy BRKAN and Hill. And BRKAN really up in this fight as far as I can see it, and the numbers really showing exactly that. It's a lopsided equation.
Yeah, outweighed far with red BRKAN, and Hill looks like he's trying to cover up to get under the jab and then let those shots off. Dip the head and dip the chin and land those overhand rights. But he's definitely going to have to do something here, Chris.
BRKAN off the counter. Hill walking into damage, though. And that is not the kind of fight that you want to see from a fighter who came in undefeated, had so many strong fights, finished all of them and won 4 out of 5 times via stoppage. I should say finished 4 out of 5, but at the end of the day, BRKAN has just had his number off the straight punches, the pivot, the timing, knowing when to move forward and when to move backwards. And Hill, having given of his best and tested every opportunity, just continues to eat damage, and BRKAN elusive but present.
And the 3-piece combo, Chris. BRKAN's putting on the left-right hook, and he's really getting caught. But I think Hill, fair play to him. You know, he showed that he's got a chin, but off the back of having a chin, he needs to throw something.
Well, Junior, I have to say 3-piece in a soda, right?
Exactly that, Chris, and he's having a good luck with it. But that rangy sort of those jabs, you know, even some of them are open hand, Chris. You know, he's just touching the head, but you can find the range and then find that really real damaging shot.
BRKAN staying steady, staying committed, but not too committed. Moves backwards, hits with a 1-2. Perfect counter here from BRKAN. BRKAN looking to open up. BRKAN looking to close the show. It's good ground and pound. Referee looking very, very closely here.
He saw he wobbled him, Chris, and he came in with a double knee jump strike. I think that was beautiful. I think that was the little bit of flair that we're used to seeing from BRKAN. What I'd like to see him do now is really put the pressure on, because he looks a little bit tired.
BRKAN has his moment, more than 2 minutes, plenty of time. Hill just doing what he can to stay in this fight. And how tough is Chris Hill? We talked about it, it was into the lion's den, but he is having to weather a storm unlike any he has ever faced as a pro. There are elbows and punches. It is one-way traffic to the max right now.
Real one-way traffic, Chris. That blood in the eye is not doing him any favors. He's gonna have to do something here, or I believe the ref is gonna step in at some point. I think BRKAN's just working it out, figuring out the best way to finish. He's tried to lock in a heel hook there. But again, those sneaky shots, just smudging the blood in his eyes. Real damage, Chris. And you can hear with every shot, the crowd wincing at Hill. But again, what a man, what a strong man, and what an athlete, just taking those shots. He still looks calm, he still looks okay.
And Hill just having to try to ask himself, can I stay in this? Can I continue? Can I actually mount something meaningful here? Well, BRKAN just needs more of the same. It needs to be really a rinse and repeat performance right now, because BRKAN has found his way into the fortress and has the entire operation locked on siege. Steady punches here. BRKAN just finding his way. Under 30 seconds. Of course, this one at 80 kilograms. Potential 3 5-minute rounds. And it continues with 20 kicks, 114 punches, 151 strikes, to less than 20 landed, 17 in total from the blue corner. Ilya BRKAN is having it his way here. Started in karate, MMA by age 15. The Martial Arts Foundation has carried him 10 minutes in what could be 10-8 round category. I mean, that was truly lopsided.
Very lopsided, Chris. A lot of damage done to Hill here, and he's going to have to ask those questions you do when you go back to the corner, and he's going to have to search very, very, very deep to do something here, Chris.
And taking a look at some of the replay, we had heavy knees, good action on the inside. Here goes BRKAN, airborne there, leapfrogging his way across this cage and finding the target. Insane switch knee there.
A touch of gloves, a show of respect. A touch of gloves and a show of respect as we go into the third and final. Hill would have asked himself those questions. What can I give? What can I do? You can see him eyeing up, sizing up. He's definitely had a chat with his coaches. He's going to restructure, but BRKAN is going to look for the finish.
And you said it, Junior. BRKAN can smell that finish line. It has been a absolutely punch perfect and knee, kick perfect, wrestling perfect performance. What can Hill do? Can Hill find his way back into this fight? The path forward is very obvious, but that is very much an uphill operation.
Very much an uphill operation, Chris. And respects and kudos to Hill. He's still giving it some here. He's still applying pressure.
And I would expect no less, of course, coming from a quality gym in AVT. Hill, back to the wrestling basics, has told himself it is now or never. I need a 10-7, I need a stoppage. And that's one step to the good, getting the body lock there. Couldn't quite get the pickup, couldn't quite get the destabilization, if you will, underneath the hips. Good punches here again from BRKAN. BRKAN doing a great job of controlling from the top, doing damage, out wrestling. He has put the full MMA game into play here tonight. And you know, against a very, take nothing away from BRKAN or Hill. They're two quality guys. It's just this is sport. Somebody's going to be a little bit better on the night, and that is, in this case, BRKAN.
A lot of cheeky face control here from BRKAN. He's smudging the blood, controlling the head, controlling the neck, and trying to find shots and work off it. Very uncomfortable position for Hill to be in. What you can't see, you can't hit. And unfortunately, in this case, Hill cannot see a lot.
Well, BRKAN actually was one of the very early debutants way back in the day on FNC, actually FNC 2, that was back in 2019. Of course, we last saw him at FNC 26. He featured on FNC 6. 23-year-old, of course, moving to ATT Zagreb to become more composed in the cage, no longer fighting recklessly. Interestingly, during his pastime, he said, actually, I love a pancake and a bit of candy, from 24 Nutella pancakes in one sitting to Haribo afterwards. That's going to be the celebration, right?
Don't we all, Chris? We all love a pancake and a Nutella. I don't know about 24, but hey, he's a beast of a man. And exactly that, that's definitely going to be the celebration today. And well-deserved clinical performance, and he probably had a very tight camp.
Referee taking very, very, very careful look here. Chris Hill, once a light heavyweight, now down at a catch weight here. Incredible, 13 kilos lower. The older fighter, the undefeated fighter, coming in on a 5-fight streak. One of the biggest underdogs on the entire card. Like we said, 3-1 dog territory. Wow, what a performance here from BRKAN, though. It is short, devastating ground and pound, tight control. And it has been overwhelming quicksand in which Hill has been stuck for the last 10 minutes, especially. That first round was the most competitive, but it's been a decline. Under 60 seconds. Pinning the right arm is BRKAN. BRKAN trying to advance out of half. But the inevitable will become, and the irrevocable outcome for Chris Hill will be one of defeat and wondering what might have been, as Ilya BRKAN, the once reckless fighter, has become the methodical fighter and the calculated fighter to produce a winning strategy here as he continues to overwhelm Chris Hill. Under 30 seconds, this crowd on the edge of their seats. Will it be BRKAN with another win? And it looks to be another win in 15 minutes. The fourth is such a result in a row. Heavy punches here from BRKAN. Hill covering. Seconds left. Hill trying to duck and roll, is stuck, and has been through the meat grinder that is Ilya BRKAN.
Great performance there from BRKAN. Really clinical, and he just did the basics right, Chris. He did the basics right, and then off the back of that, he started to put a bit of flair, as we saw with the jump double knee strike. Really nice, really accurate. And Hill, for me, just couldn't work him out. He was a little bit unorthodox. He couldn't cover up, and he couldn't get under those initial shots to close the distance. I thought the Leeds man's wrestling, training environment and unblemished record would give him the edge across the rounds. Unfortunately for me, BRKAN's second round surge and his well-roundedness and composure gave him this fight.
And a chance to revisit some of the action here. It was BRKAN from that top control wheel doing damage to the nth degree.
To the nth degree, and to the third and final round. And those inside shots were really nice, and they just kept doing damage and kept opening that cut above Hill's right eye, which was really causing him trouble from the off.
As we await the results.
So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of those 3 completed rounds of action, we go to your judges' scorecards, where we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges in agreement with your winner. In the red corner, Ilya BRKAN.